I do have one other question, Kristen, related to these policy changes, which is that on the July LSAT, LSAC is as a one-time freebie, letting applicants see their scores before they decide whether to cancel. And I think that may lead to a disproportionate number of cancellations on the July LSAT because people can see their scores beforehand. So they're taking it more kind of willingly. And they also get a free retake if they do cancel. So there's this incentive to cancel that usually is not there. And so I'm wondering how your office typically looks at a single LSAT cancellation and how they may look at cancellations going forward this year, given that July will likely have a disproportionately high number of them.
So, I mean, generally I will say cancellations, it happens. And I mean, only the test taker knows what exactly was happening that day and whether or not they think circumstances are such that their performance was really adversely affected. I usually tell people if you studied and you felt reasonably comfortable in the test, you weren't sick, you didn't, get only a couple hours sleep the night before, I would think carefully about canceling because you probably, your sense of impending failure is probably disproportionate to the reality. That being said, certainly with these July test takers, being able to actually see the score is a very different thing. I think probably, whether or not someone cancels, I do expect that there will probably be more cancels for July test takers, just because there is that option. There's not a negative mark in having a cancellation. I think sometimes if people have multiple cancellations and they've tried to take, they've registered for 7 LSATs, they've canceled 3 times, they've, no-showed for 1, then I kind of wonder if someone's organized and prepared for actually starting law school. But a single cancellation in and of itself, it's not of concern. And certainly with it being such a ready option for the July test, I wouldn't view that any differently than any other cancellation. And in fact, I would probably understand a bit more why someone might be inclined to cancel, given that they actually, it's a different scenario in the cancellation context than usually what people have. You have a very important piece of information that normally you wouldn't have. So I would understand if people cancel then. July is not a bad test date to cancel because you still have a lot of time to take the test again before the application cycle. So I would understand that as well. It's not going to adversely impact our evaluation, a cancellation for that one.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.